Good evening, everyone. Again, it's top question in the at Blue Sky Citadel, and we are just going to be continuing with the mobile testing training that we started last week. And from last week, we spoke about we did an introduction as to what was mobile testing, the types of mobile platforms, types of mobile applications, types of devices, the challenges of doing mobile testing, best approach, categories of mobile testing, and we also looked at some mobile testing tools. Now, today, we shall continue, and we'll be looking at and carrying out hands-on explore more of a form of exploratory approach to this evening by looking at the mobile testing tools that are out there. I think we started, we talked about Appium last week. We talked about Source Labs. We talked about CTS Cloud, and we also talked about BitBar. Today we are going to do more of we're going to be exploring some of these tools and looking at what their capabilities are, what we can do with them, and how we can use them to achieve good testing. Basically, these tools allows you to do both manual and automation as part of those are the kind those are part of what they offer you. And basically, before we look at, I'll just do a quick recap. So, Appium is an open source platform test framework that is used for testing hybrid and mobile apps and also web apps on mobile devices. It drives iOS and Android applications using the WebDriver protocol. It is a black box testing. The source code is not required, and you can use it to gather information like UI, IDs, or elements on the mobile app. And you can also use it to look at. You can use test practices. It's more of a framework and a tool. It gives everything in one. It is based on Selenium and interacts with the application's UI. Source Lab is also another one. It is cloud-based, so we need to have a distinction between cloud-based application and real application. Cloud-based application is a collection of application that you have sitting in the cloud that gives you a form of experience that you would normally get when you are testing with a real device. So there are two types of, as we said last week, there are two types. We have both the emulator and the simulators here. So the simulator, so there are differences, there are clear differences between the emulator and the simulator. Now, the simulator is a kind of application that gives you a feel of a mobile device. It's a software that gives you a feel of a mobile device that you normally have on your hand. Now, the difference between emulator and simulator is that both emulators are actually software applications that gives you that feel of a real device. But the main difference between the two of them is that emulators will give you more than emulator goes further in the sense that you are able to you are able to simulate things like maybe uh, battery usage, CPU consumption, memory issues, performance issues. It actually gives you more than just the interface that you require to do your testing. So those are the two broad differences between the emulator and the simulator. Yeah. Now, with Source Lab, it is based on Appium as well. So a lot of these cloud-based tools gives you opportunity to run Appium on them. Some of them, as you seen shortly, some of them gives you also enables you to run Espresso, Robotium, and also some other frameworks. So the applications, the labs that are in the cloud that gives you the opportunity to run different frameworks on them. And Appium is a framework on its own, which can be used for both iOS and Android. And as I said last week, we are looking solely at Android testing under this within this at this point only. Now, CTS is also test tool designed by Xperi Test. So you can use it for automation and mobile application testing. It supports UI testing and continuous integration, and it's a commercial tool. So most of these applications are commercial tools and all that. So first of all, I'll be flipping my I'll be flipping up my I'll be flipping to the application now. So I'll be opening up BitBar. So that's what we're going to be using next. So let me just share my screen and show you what I want to show you. What is this? All right. So can everyone see my screen with BitBar on it? Let me know by typing yes. That's fine. All right. So now this is BitBar. BitBar is a cloud. It's a cloud lab in the sense that it gives you the opportunity to do cross-browsing testing. This is not it's not part of what we are doing, to be honest. So, but it gives the opportunity to do cross-browsing testing, browser testing. Now, you have. All right, sorry, I need to sign in. What's my username and password? Yeah. Now, so the reason why it's a lab is because within a lab you have different devices and operating systems which you can carry out your testing on. So when this page refreshes, you'll see you see the devices. So these are the devices which BitBar offers you. You have the iPhone devices, we have the Android devices, and that's why it is called the lab, because depending on the subscription that you have, you can access any of these devices to use. And also, you can do both manual and automation on it. So here they call their manual live testing, and I'm just going to quickly show. So before I just show us a live testing, let's just go do an explore. Let's just explore and see what this is able to do. So within the live testing space, you can select any device of your choice. uh, this is we are using the free software, the free subscription, so we don't have access to all the devices here. But you can have live sessions. So what the live sessions actually do, let me just show you quickly, is I'll just pick one of these devices. Let me just pick the Nexus device, and I'm going to upload a file, an application for us to test. So I've already uploaded an application called Gift Rates APK. So I'll just use this and then upload. Yeah, I'll just pick that. So it is, yeah, that's it. So the application that we have, this is from the cloud now. It's displaying here. Shortly, the gift rate APK will be uploaded as well. So that's it basically. So this gives me the opportunity to quickly do like a form of exploratory testing on this app. So it responds to my clicks. I'm clicking on the user interface. I can enter text as I want, depending on what the criteria is. All right, so keyboard, choose keyboard. So, and then, yeah, so I can enter text, and then, log in as normal. And then, so basically, it gives you the opportunity to carry out an exploratory test, on this. You can get screenshots if you want screenshots. These are the these are the buttons to control what you want. You can change the orientation if you want to. If you want to take screenshots, you can take screenshots. I've taken that screenshot. If you have this menu bar to do so many things, and then you can stop the device. You can change the device. If I want to change it, I can, click yes, stop that session, move to another one. Let's pick the Motorola device. Let's pick this one. Do the same thing on it. Upload upload the file again. That's uploading. So within that, as we go through it, you can see that it will start generating logs for us as well. So it's still connecting. So this is, as we said last week, this, so one of the issues that you might find using this kind of this cloud labs is because they are dependent on so many factors. One of them is, the connectivity, your internet connectivity, the operating system, and also because they are using it in the cloud. So it might be, at this point, let me just check. Okay, when I come out of this, so basically, this is it will, once the application is loaded up, you'll see it in the menu bar. It's still waiting, so you see it in the menu bar. So it's more like, you're using your phone, but this is just an emulator, you know and that. So, and once once you're, so these are the logs that you can actually, put together to resolve issues and all that. So let's go to the so this is the dashboard. Within the dashboard, you can do an automation testing, you can do a live testing. The live testing is the manual one. You can do an artificial intelligence test bot to do your exploratory testing of your app. So that, all you need to do with that is just to choose a file. I'm going to choose the same gift rate app, just creating, I've given it that name. Device group. I have limited this device group anyway, so it's the trial Android device group that I'm using, and then all I need to do is just to start. So this is what I asked you guys to do last week. So my test is not yet started yet; it's still queuing up, and these are the tests which I've run previously. So I ran this one earlier today. So you can see, successful test 2 of 2, executed test 2 of 2, and then this was a parallel testing on 2 devices at the same time. So if you have a paid subscription, when you start working, when you have a paid subscription, you would find out that, you can choose different numbers of of devices that you need to run your test against. You can limit them, to Android or iOS, do different things. You can show so if I say show configuration, this is the JSON files, that actually, so there are ways. Oh, sorry, this thing keeps second. So there are ways in which you can load your configuration. You can either load your configuration using using the REST API on Swagger, or you can actually do it manually by loading your app the way I've shown you this evening and all that. So there are other things that you can also do. So for instance, this is I'm using, so I am picking my devices. The availability zone is from the United, sorry, the language is the United States English language. There's also a place where I can and it's simultaneous testing. And so if I go to the results page, so this is the results page that you have your test steps. This didn't really do anything, to be honest. I think let me show you the other one. I did something. I think this one did something. So if I go to the results page, yeah, so you can see that. So this one took screenshots. So these are the screenshots that this one took. Let's look at it one by one. So this is like it gives a test summary. You have It gives you a test summary. You have your test steps. If there are any issues, the issues will be populated there. And then beneath this is also the logs. So these are the logs that you can, read through. If there's anything that is happening within the log that, that is not as expected, you can download the log, send it to your developer to look at, or to debug or troubleshoot the application. So these are the output files as well. You have the console log, device logs, all these performance logs, and you have your screenshots here as well. So let me see if I can enlarge one of the screenshots. So you see, it's just an automation using UI Automator and all that. So you have the screenshot depending on the steps, and there's also a video as well. You can play the video. I think you need to, yeah. So that's the video that of the whole process of the whole test run and all that. So it's a good one. Other things to look out for is the CPU usage. So you can monitor the CPU usage of your app. If there are things that are not looking right, this you can take screenshots of these, attach it to your bug, to the bug reports, download your logs as well, attach it to it as well, and then you can do memory. This is memory usage as well. It looks at the memory usage of the app, against the time and all that. So it's a pretty good app, and I would say try and do some exploratory test or try and explore it and see how how it feels. There's something I want to show you here. So one of the things that you can also do. So this is how you can create iOS, Android, or desktop testing. So for the Android testing, you can, it gives you, as I said earlier, I was talking about Espresso and Android. So these are frameworks out. So Espresso is a framework that is used for Android testing. Appium is also used for Android, iOS, and also and all that. So these are frameworks that you can pick and use. You can also do mobile browser testing using it and all that. So for the Appium one, you need to select um, two files. One is the application file, and so if you look at the information here for the Android test, you need a test uh, file, and also you need an app file. Um, so you can do that by by just selecting two files that you would want to use to run your app, and then you just select the devices you want to run the test against, and then create an automated test. So it's as what is it saying? All right, so I need to you reach the queue amount. Okay, so I can only queue one item at the same time. So if I go to my project, yeah, so I think I can only queue one item at the same time. So that is BitBar for you. Get your hands on it. Look at what it does. These are your test summaries. Your device usage. It gives you the let's go back to the dashboard. It gives you the filling tests on the devices. All the information you need, all everything. So this is a good tool to use and to talk about in an interview. So, has anyone got any question on this one before we move to the next one quickly? If you have a question, just type it quickly. So, there's still a few more things that we need to cover tonight. So the next one. So the next one I will show you is also a cloud lab. It's called CTS Cloud. And with this, you can upload your APK file. So there's one thing that we need to. There are two things that we need to understand here quickly. If you are testing a mobile an Android application, you need to. So if I go here now, there are two different target operating systems here. There are even three. So if you want to test a desktop application, or you can so the iOS. So the iOS expects the application extension for the iOS is called IPA. So all right. So if I go here on a fixed element, so you see here. So the iOS, all iOS needs a test build.ipa. So that is the application. That is the extension for the software application that you want to test for Android device. While for iOS device, while for Android device, the extension is the APK. So you have to have this. You need to be able to have remember these two different extensions. In order for you to be able to carry out your testing properly. So and another thing is that you don't want to go to an interview and they ask you what is the extension for Android and you're saying IPA. That's clearly wrong. So with the CTS Cloud, you can also, you look at this. I asked you guys to look at this last week as well. You can look at this. It gives you a free trial. You can upload the application that you want to test. So I think it comes with a free application called Bank. You can use that, get your hands dirty on that. And you can also, so you can just upload it from anywhere, within your laptop or computer. Now, so this one gives you devices as well. It does give you lots more devices, than BitBar. So these are the devices you can, if you select any one of them. For the manual testing on this one is just called is okay. So it will say open for automation here. So I'm going to be showing you something on this one. So this one does something differently, which BitBar doesn't do. Just hold on. So this is launching. It is gathering the resources for the device that we want to use from their lab. All right, so that is the device that we chose. And for this one, I'm going to upload my application. So I'm going to ask for this gift rate application to be installed on it as well. So I'll just click that and it is installing. You can see that it clearly shows that it's installing here. So I'll just close that. So once the application is installed, the application will be visible. So this is the application is visible on the screen now. And if I click on it, that's the application that is launched for you. So within this lab, within this CTS clearly gives you more time to test than BitBar. You can, show your location. This is your location. If you want to, you can simulate capture. If you want to capture, choose an image to be captured and all that. You can choose an image to be captured if you want that. You can do debugging on this one. You can mock authentication. Maybe if you want to do that. Then also this one, if I click on this one, network tunnel. So you can access web resources located on your local network from a cloud device. So you can do that as well. You can, and then so you can select location. So this is the language of the region that you want to use. So we're in the UK. Let me just select the UK. Yeah, so I've selected the UK. That's fine. You can share if you want. You can do a video of it. You can take screenshots and then you can do your reporting. So what does it say? Currently unable to, yeah, so that's fine. And then, these are you can go to home button, you can lock the device, you can change the orientation if you want to. That's the changing the orientations. So it takes a bit of time. So you can shut down the device, you can increase the volume up and down, you can go back. And one of the other cool features of this particular CTS Cloud is that it gives you the opportunity to, gather elements. So by the time you are doing your automation, it gives you the opportunity, for instance, this next, if I click this next, yeah, for you to gather the elements. So as you know, so for instance, if you look at where I'm pointing to here, can you see, if you can see the cursor, you can see this next. If I click on this next, it generates the ID, it tells me the ID, it tells me the text, which is next, it tells me the class, and then, these are some of the HTML attributes and all that. Then it also gives me the hierarchy of the HTML, so if I can expand this, linear frame, page viewer, linear layout, blah, 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 and all that. So it's a good tool for you that helps you to gather all the elements for your automation testing that you'd perform. So all you need to do is to refresh the dump, and then it automatically refreshes and goes to the page. Now you can start playing the device logs. You can start, so as you do things, your logs start populating and all that. So these are the device logs. So you can have monitors as well. This is very cool. I like it. If you want to monitor your battery, so as you are using your application, as you're using your application, you can see that my battery log is being it's changing and all that. So you can actually monitor the appli. So these are the things. These are part of performance testing and also functional testing of your app, because you are using your app and then you are looking at how your application is consuming battery, or if you want to measure your CPU usage, you can see, when there's intense activity goes up, it stays a while, then it goes down and all that. So if I click register now, you see that, activity has started again. And if I type some things here, I just type some jargons there. So uh, man, so all right, so let's go back to the previous page. So these are the things that you can, depending on the activity that are carrying out on your application, the CPU, it's measuring the CPU usage, and and you can also do network statistics as well. You can, so here you can you can emulate fast 3G. But I'm not sure whether it works or anything, but so I've not seen it work. You can emulate fast 3G and all that. And then you can also look at the memory as well. So the memory consumption, how much memory the app is consuming, in relation to your device and all that. So these are cool things which you can measure using this application and all. So we've looked at the automation bit. Let's look at the reports. So these are the reports. I've started. Let me see if it's going to give me any reports or something. Or probably after when I finish the session, then I can get some reports. So you can create a new group. You can save your reports. I'm recording here, so things which you can do. And then another cool thing about it is that, okay, there's a connection problem. This is connection problem restarting. So that was why the report was. Hold on a second. Connection problem restarting. 1 second. Yes. All right. So the cool thing is that you have the accessibility aspect of it as well. So for accessibility testing, you want to see how the application looks like, when you shrink the page, or or the UI of the application, when you make it color blind, So let me, so I can see properly. Shrink. Yeah, so make it colorblind for people with eye impairment, and then or make it blurry. So, make it blurry so that people with eye impediments impairments can see, can then use this. So those are the kind of things which you can use the application to you can use this application and test your this software, and then test your application on these different parameters and all that. So if I capture, no, I'm not doing that. So if I want to take a screenshot, it takes the screenshot of the mobile device we're using, and then to end your session, you just click that. You release your device if you don't want to use it anymore, and then you close. And for the so basically that goes into so that one doesn't that doesn't generate any results at all. So uh, Then it gives you the opportunities to run, you can, depending on, these are the nodes, for you to run your tests. If you want to run large scale tests for 3,000 concurrent mobiles, up to that amount you can run, and you can do such. So for the automation aspect is another good thing I like about this is that this actually gives you the opportunity to write gives the opportunity to write tests in different programming languages, and you can see Java, Ruby, and Python. And then you can also select CTS clients. I don't really know what this is based on, to be honest, but it looks more like Java as well. It looks like Java. Yeah, so yeah, I think it's Java, to be honest. Maybe it's graded or something. So but this is Appium, and we'll be talking about what these are, the capabilities, and what they do and all that. So you can pick your operating system. So if I pick Android, I can pick my a tablet if I want to, or a mobile device, the app type, whether it's a web app or a native app, you can do that. And then you can pick the operating system's version, Android 8, 6, blah blah blah, depending on what's available, and run your test. There is another cool feature is that you can pick your region. It doesn't tell me what region I'm running my test from at the moment, but you can actually, pick a region where you want, because the closer the region to where you are, the faster the connectivity, and also um, the connectivity, and the faster the performance, and so basically what it does is that it picks up, devices. Maybe they have devices located, maybe they have some devices located within their cloud in the UK, or if the UK is congested, a lot of people are on the cloud within the on the application in the UK. Then it runs your test. Maybe it picks it from Germany within the EU, or it goes into or maybe across the continent to the USA and all that. So these are basically availability zones where the connectivity is your devices are stored, and then they are remote servers where you access um, the devices in the cloud. So so let me just quickly run something, just run a test on that. So for this one, if I click on run tests, so you can see that one good thing is that it gives you it gives you the code. It makes it simple for you. If you don't want to write a lot of code, by the time you just pick your device and all that, it gives you the code already, which you can just copy and paste um, uh, into your script editor to just make some amendments, and then run your test, and then it gets connected to the um, remote server, and runs your test remotely. So if I click on this, so it says my test is queued. Let's go to the execution and see. No, not this execution. Whereabouts is my dashboard? Reports. Okay. Am I not logged in? Okay. So I ran some tests today, and I think it cleared them out, to be honest. So device. Let's go back to the connection. Seems to be a bit slow. So these are my okay. Let me do something. So let me pick the Android test, this run test. It's cute. Okay, let me just change it. Maybe let me just change it back to all regions and see what happens. All regions, run my test. It's still cute. Okay. So, all right. So there's something wrong with it. Well, we'll come back to it anyway. So that's what that does. That's what CTS Cloud does, and it's so cool. You can check it out and see what and have a feel of it yourself. So, the next thing I'll be looking at is Browserstack. So Browserstack uh, is also a cloud lab that gives you the opportunity to run virtual tests against so many devices, and you can run parallel simultaneous tests against so many devices. You have the iOS, even up to the latest iPhone. So let's just check one of them out. So what do I want to do? Okay, let's just look at that. So it gives you the feel of as if you have a live device with you. You can do the same thing. Basically, most of them have like the same UI. Report a bug. Zoom in, zoom out, local testing, and all that. So you can use that for that. But there's one thing which I really want to show you um, about this. So 1 second. So with the browser stack, so well, all right. So one thing that you can actually do with this is that you can actually run this. 1 second, this is still loading. All right, so with browser stack as well, you have different programming language. They support different programming language. You have Espresso, you have XQuey, you have Appium. So we're focusing more on Appium today, yeah, in this training. So you can. It's so simple. So all you need to do is just to register with them. Just do a free trial. Do a setup. So if you follow the setup, just go to your dashboard and get started, and then you can upload an app. For instance, I've uploaded an app. I just want to do one again to let's say let me just upload this. Yeah, so if I upload an app, so it generates. So the app I've uploaded is now being stored in the remote server in the cloud. So it gives me my app URL. This is my app URL, and then you can see here that it says in your test script, you use this app URL value to set the app desired capability in order to specify the app under test. So basically, this URL points to my app which has been stored in the cloud, and then it sets, and during the test execution, your app will automatically be installed and launched on the device on the test. So this is the same thing as well. So it sets, this is how to set a capability. So I'll just quickly flip back to my just so that we talk about capability so that I don't get people confused. 1 second. Yeah, so I'll flip back to my, all right. So just flip through some slides quickly. So we've done all this stuff. All right, so let me just quickly explain something to you. Now, there are two ways in which you can run a test you can carry out a test execution. Yeah, from the diagram that I'm showing you, you have the client side execution and you have the cloud side execution. What I have been showing you is the cloud side execution where you have your test script. So I'm going to do something in a while, which will involve, test script, WebDriver, and a test case. I would then have to upload my APK file or IPA depending on what I want to do, and my test zip, and then ask the remote WebDriver to use my test script and my test case to run my test on mobile devices in the cloud. That is the cloud side execution. Now, the client side execution involves you doing the same thing, having your test script, your WebDriver, and your test case, uploading your APK or IPA file, and then using the Appium server to communicate directly with your mobile device. This client side execution is something that we'll be looking at in the next class. But for today, we are focusing on cloud side execution, which I'm going to show you. I've explained a bit of it with BitBar and SeeTest Cloud, but I would go further to show you how you can write some codes and then do a cloud side execution. Now, for the client side, your tests are visible on your computer. Response may be flaky and slow. It is dependent on your network connection. You run on one device at a time, and changing device operating system requires new configuration and setup. For example, iOS configuration is different to Android. Now, the cloud side execution, upload all test files and app files in one go. This runs in the cloud independently. Zero configuration, it's fast and runs on hundreds of devices at the same time. Easy to monitor, and you can get results from the cloud or app using APIs. Saves time and give you more reliable results and data, and you can benefit from parallel testing and all that. So now we've looked at I'll just bounce back to this in a bit here. But I really want to talk about something next. Uh, all right. Now, when I showed you BitBar and CTS Cloud, and so you saw some things called desired capabilities. Now, desired capabilities are key and values which you send to the Appium server to let you know what kind of automation session you are interested in setting up. So these are the things, if you want to say, okay, Mr. Appium, I need you to set up an automation framework for me. Mr. Appium will say to you, okay, can you tell me, can you provide me, I'll provide you with keys, but you need to provide me with some values. So Appium will give you some keys, and then you need to insert those values in those keys for the Appium server to be able to carry out that automation session. Now, these are sent on the Appium framework, and they go as JSON objects onto the server for it to do whatever it wants to do. So a few of them are this, like for instance, if you want to set up a remote session with your Appium server, you need to be able to tell the Appium server what is the device name that you are sending, what is the UDID. UDID is just like an identification tag, which so every mobile device has a UDID. I'll show you how to get this in future classes. The platform name. In this instance, we are using Android, your platform version. I'll show you as well. And then and within the app that you want to test, there are some parameters that you need to get. And one of them is the app package, and another one is the app activity. And then you can also have some other settings, like if you don't want to clear cookies, if you don't want to reset the application, if you want to come back to the state in which the application was, you can add all those kind of desired capabilities to it. Yeah. So I'll just flip back to BitBar. I'm sorry, to the what I was doing previously before I went back to that. Where am I in this? All right. So you can see that I'm back onto the page for Browserstack. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want you to understand that apart from running your client-side test, you can also configure your test and then send it remotely for the remote WebDriver to run it in the cloud. And that's what I'm trying to do. So I've uploaded my application now called GiftRate APK. BitBar has been intelligent enough to set the app URL for me, which is this. And also part of the capability is that it sets the URL for me, with the, so this A double P in quotes is the key, and the value is my app URL, which I got from here. So this is, so the highlighted this whatever this app I've highlighted is the key, and my value is this URL. Now going further so to be honest, this is something that you can try. All you need to do is to go to Browserstack website, log in, and then get started. And so as I said, we are focusing mainly on Android, and I can select from a lot. Okay, so there's limitation here for me. Okay, so let's pick Samsung S10e. Now, so once I pick, so as soon as you pick a device, there's a new capabilities being set for you. So you find out this is with Google Pixel 3. So the key is the device. So one of the things I said is that Mr. Appium wants to understand what kind of automation session needs to be set up. So one of the things that Mr. Appium has given to you is, okay, tell me the device you want to use, and you provide the device name. Tell me the operating system, and you provide the operating system version. So if I change it to Samsung E now, you can see the device name has changed, and the operating system has also has remained at 9. Now, for you to be able to use Browserstack, there are some other configuration that you require. Now, this is the remote URL. So Appium works using a remote instance, So you need to connect to, when we do the automation, you'll see that we need to connect to a remote WebDriver, and that is the WebDriver that we'll be using to carry out the test on the server side. Yeah. Now, this is so one good thing about Browserstack is that it helps you to automatically generate, string up all that you need. So depending on your username, it will create a public string for you with your username, and then give you an access key. So it does that for you automatically, and then it helps you to even set up the code to write. So look at, so it's it makes the work easier for you by setting you the capabilities. Just so it's giving you the very minimum that you require to run this gift app remotely from your ID. So one of the capabilities, as I said, is we've talked about the device name and the version. It's giving it a name, my first blah blah blah, and then the build. Then it's also giving it a name is a simple test. That's the name of the project or the name of the test that you want to run. And it's saying that, using Mr. Appium, use all this to run a test on my app, which is located in this URL. So this, and then it says, Android driver, Android driver. For those that did the C# test, they'll be conversant with this. My new URL, and this is the location of where, your remote web driver is. So which is this. So what I'm going to do, has anyone got any question before we continue? If you have a question, can you quickly type your question, because I'm going to write some few codes quickly, and then we can round off the session. So I just show you how this is being how the test is being run in the remote in the cloud. Has anyone got a question? Yes or no? If not, we proceed. Simultaneous testing is when you are running your so it is called parallel testing. So parallel testing is when you are running when you are running your test in this circumstance on two devices at the same time. But simultaneously means you are doing two things concurrently at the same time. Yeah. So any other question? So I can you can see that when we ran that, when I showed you the CTS Cloud or the BitBar, there were two. Let me just show you again quickly so that you don't get confused. Where's the test? So I think it's this one. So this is like parallel testing. The test was run on two devices at the same time. So, but it's called parallel testing, not simultaneous testing. Yeah. All right. So if, in the absence of any other question, I'm going to flip to IntelliJ. Just bear me a moment. Let me just, so I'm going to share my screen and share IntelliJ. So we're going to be alternating. We do what we want to do on IntelliJ now, then we come back to, yeah, can you all see my screen? So what tool will you recommend for automation and for manual? All right, so I believe that we've talked about so many tools, and you should have jotted down Appium. We've been talking about Appium, and we'll continue to talk about Appium. We'll be talking about we talked about three tools tonight, three cloud-based tools tonight: BitBar, Browserstack, and CTest, Expertest CTest. So so you can use any of these for your manual or your automation, to be honest. And you can also do your manual testing by just opening your device, picking up your physical device, and then running your test on it. All right, if you can see my IntelliJ, please, can you say yes? Can you type yes? Sorry. All right, thank you. All right, so I'm going to quickly create a Maven project. And I'm just going to call it, let's call it blue test, yeah? And then finish up. All right, so it's not showing you. All right, 1 second. Hold on 1 second. New window. Okay. All right, so I've just quickly created a. Can you guys see my screen? Can you see my IntelliJ? IntelliJ, I'm talking about IntelliJ. Yes, okay, that's cool. All right, so I'm just quickly going to run a quick test. So I go to my SRC folder under tests, under Java. I quickly create a new class. I call the class, let's call it test 1. And then in my POM, so there are basically 3 things I need in my POM. The base for this test I'm going to carry out, I need Java. Sorry, so I'm going to flip to 1 second. I'm going to flip back to Google. So I'm just going to quickly go to Maven repository. I'm sure you guys know what Maven repository is. You would have come across that in your automation class. Quickly, we need Java clients. So Java clients will contain your Appium. So you see, so I think if I were you, I'll write this down. So you need if you go to Maven repository for a Maven project for Appium, or you need for the Appium dependencies, you need a Java client. You need to type Java client and search for it. So we'll be using the version 7.3. So this Java client contains all the jar files that we will need to use to run our automation tests. So if I go to my POM now, this is my POM. Dependencies. and I paste that there. So I also need Java Cucumber. So I need Java Cucumber. So you know, it's the same. You go to Java Cucumber. You go to Maven repository and search for Java Cucumber. So the same way you do that, you go to Maven repository, you search for Java Cucumber. And then we also need, for assertion, I'm using, depending on the assertion that you want to create, I'm using assert J. Yeah, you have there's AMCREST assertion, there's JUnit assertion and all that, but you know, I'm using assert J. So depending on whatever you want to use, 1 second. So that's fine. So let me import my POM. To import my POM, what I need to do is just to, yeah, I think it's already done anyway, so that's fine. So I go back to my test. So what we want to do is, I need to flip back to, yeah, so I need to now copy my, so basically what you need to do is you need to, let me close this. I don't need this anymore. I don't need this to, so you need to go back to Browserstack, and all you need to do is just copy this string that you have here, basically, you know, because you already have your class name, and you already have the closing braces as well. So all you need to do is just to copy the code within, just copy this, and then paste it within the body of your class. Yeah, so I think I need one more braces here, sorry. All right, and then so basically, so with the POM that we, so if you can look at my POM, if you look at my POM, I've only imported 3 dependencies. So we have a Java client, which is for Appium. Because I'll be needing, I'll be writing some Cucumber, Java Cucumber, Selenium Java Cucumber interface. I need the Cucumber interface. And then for my assertion, I'm using assert J. So I don't know, depending on what you've been taught previously, you can use, you know, whatever assertion type that you want. So all you need to do now then is to go back to your tests, and then you know, start to resolve these dependencies. Start to import the exceptions. Yeah. So it's just, I think it's just alternate enter on Windows, alt enter. So everything is being resolved for me. Alt enter, and then the Android driver. Don't worry, we'll still go into this in detail, but I just want to show you quickly. And also because some people said last week that they want to see Hello World, but we're not writing Hello World in this we're not writing that here at all. So 1 second, I need to make this bigger. I need to. All right, so I think this is too big. Let me reduce it a bit. It's too big. Okay, so this is okay. That's fine. So yeah, I need Alt Enter for the last one, the new URI. Java.net. Okay, let me use that. That's fine. All right, so you can see that, you know, the capabilities have been set for you. I'm using Samsung Galaxy 9 version, Samsung Galaxy 10 version 9. The name of my project, you know, and also the is giving us name as well, and then the app and my URL. So my app is sitting in on Browserstack's URL, sorry, Browserstack server with this code. So this is what. So when I run my automation test, it will be going to the Browserstack cloud server and calling my app, with this reference that I've highlighted. And then you have this is basically is the Android driver using the Android element, saying driver is equals to new Android driver Android. So the Android driver that we are using is with an Android driver element. That is the value, you know. So if you look at that, it says implement, find by all those things that we want to do, find your elements, doing this, So the driver has this within it, yeah. And then the URL. So basically, if you looking at the looking at what we looking at what we copied from here, so you can see that this is my URL. This is my remote URL that I'll be connecting to. So I'm just going to copy this as well. And then paste it to this, and then so basically this is not, it's, you just know that your URL has been stringed up for you, and then you only need to replace it with this. So that's my remote URL, blah blah blah, and all that. And then we need to write some code here. So I won't waste so much time. I have the code written. To be honest, I'll just put the code there, and I'll tell you what I'm doing. It's just so that we have an understanding of what we can do with the cloud tests, so I'm going to paste my code into that. So basically what I've done is I've called some timeouts for 60 seconds. I'm going to hold on 1 second, please. Yeah. All right, so we are going to be doing this in. We're going to be going into this in more detail when we run when we are running the client side test. So basically, I've asked my driver to do a timeout and wait for. Let me see if I can make this wait implicit wait. Implicit wait. One second. Let me make it and then so I'm asking my driver to, so basic if you I would okay, so okay, so I'm asking my driver to, if you look at the, if we go back to, this is what I'm going to be automating, but anyway, 1 second. If I just want to give you, let's quickly do a manual testing of it so that you have an understanding of what I want to do. I go back to, all right, let's quickly do a manual session of this one. Execution. Okay. So this is quite slow. I don't know what's wrong. So, all right. So I pick this device, open this up. I just want to show you manually what I'm trying to run my test against. All right, so if I open the gift rate app, so when the app opens here, I need to click my next 3 times, 1, 2, and 3. So for me to get to the login page, I need to click next 3 times, right? And if I go back 1 step, you can find, so if I now refresh my DOM, if I click get, so my ID is TXG next. So that is what I've done. That is what I've actually gathered here. So that's what I've actually gathered there. So I've said, you know what, when the app opens, driver waits for 60 milliseconds, and then click 3 times. Driver will find elements by ID. Text dot click 3 times, and then go to the login page. So when you get to the login page, find elements by email. Sign in with my email with this email address. The next thing is driver.find email by password. So my ID is password. I think I showed you earlier what that is on that application, and then click the so type in my password, and then find elements by button, which is the button, and then click it. And then okay, so I'm not even using this at all, so I should string this out. So let me resolve this. So web elements, assert that. So I'm using the assert J core. That's what I'm using. So different people have different assertion types that they use. So that's what I'm using here. So if displays assert that, yeah, that's fine. All right. So that's basically we're just going to the we're just clicking 3 times when we open the app, and then just entering some with this random data, and that's all. So now let me make this 3000 milliseconds or something. So all right, so and before I run, so basically what once you've done this, all you need to do is you can see that your test is now you can, because you've created it's a public class, you've created a public method which you can just run directly. But before that, I need to check that. I need to do a Maven clean to see if I have any errors or issues. That's fine. So if I do Maven install, okay, so I need to add it says my source. I don't have any source, whatever. I need to add properties to this POM, and so it says, so the error I have is this source option and target option is no longer I'm having, this is no longer supported. I need to use 7 or later. So let me, if I go to my preference under in Windows, it's I think it's settings. So if I go to my preference and I type Java compiler. Yeah, so it's at 1.5. So I need to change it to be honest, I need to change it to, it says 7 or higher. So let me leave it at 10 and click OK. That's fine. And then add my properties. So another thing you can do is, if you have this kind of error, just Google it out. Just Google it. So if I go to Google, if I go to Google and I type, so if I type that, it will tell you what you need to do. I know what the issue is, but I'm just showing you what you need to do if you don't know what it is. Yeah, so So you see, this person is saying you can specify Maven source or target version by adding these properties to your POM file. So if you look at my POM file, I don't have properties, you know, but but mine is, so I need to first of all add these properties to my POM file. So I'll show you now. So I'll show you now. So I need to add. So if you look at my POM file, let me minimize this. You can see that my POM file, all I have is the projects. I have the dependencies. I don't have any properties. So first thing I need to do is to add the properties there. And looking at my terminal, it says source option. So I have my source and my target. Source option and 5 is no longer supported. Use 7 or higher. So you can remember that when I went to my preferences or my settings, and I typed Java compiler, I changed my bytecode to 10. So I'll just change my source and target to 10 to match this. So I'll just change that to 10 and this to 10, yeah. And if I go back and run my Maven, sorry, if I come back here and I run my Maven install, I don't expect to see any errors. That's fine. So my build has passed and it's success. So now, what we need now to do is, so basically, if you go back to Browserstack, we'll see that they said something at the end. They said how we run our tests. So now, if we look at the executing your test, you are now ready to run your first RPM test on Browserstack. On your local machine, open the command line interface and navigate to the folder containing your test script. Build and run. That's what we've done now is build. We're going to we're going to build and run our test just like any other Java program using using the Maven build tool. This will start a new session on Browserstack. Note that each step in your RPM test script is executed on a remote RPM server running on Browserstack real device cloud. So going back to my IntelliJ now, so I've built my project. My build is clean and successful. So my Maven install, my Maven clean, everything is fine. And then I'll build my project again, So all I need to do, so if I build my project, if I go to build and I say build projects, that should be spot on as well. So where is the build? I think so. It's building my projects. Yeah, that's fine. So the build is also okay. It's still building anyway. Yeah, so build successfully in 21 seconds, which is fine. So all I need to do is just to play so for you to run your tests. So let me show you something so that you don't, I don't want to confuse people. So if I go back to my dashboard if I go back to my dashboard here, let's go back to my dashboard, leave. So I've previously ran, let me just delete this one. Let me just delete them. So let me just delete this. I previously ran, delete. So go back to no match is found. All right. So you can see that I don't have anything queued up. Everything is clean, So if I run it from here, from my IntelliJ, if I run my test, so I just run it. There's my test has a main method. So all I need to do is even to click my main method. I need to run my test. So it is running. It will build and then run my test. Yeah, you see, so my test, it's run my test and everything is fine. So if I flip back to my, if I flip back to Browserstack, I have, can you see Browserstack? I have one test queued up. So my test is actually running. You can see it's actually running. So the test we instantiated from IntelliJ is running here. It takes a while. And if I click on it, you see, so it says, we're using Samsung Galaxy S10. The test is running and is building. So we're going to wait for the test to finish running and then we see what the test result is. It takes a bit of time. So you can see that we are using Appium framework. The build status is running. We have one session, and this is the time, duration it's been running for 1 minute, 12 seconds. Let me refresh it and see. It may have stopped anyway. Oh, it's still running. So it's still running. All right. So while that is running, let's check what IntelliJ is saying. So this is what we sent to. So yeah, so it says blah 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 9:30. Is it 9:30? Okay. Appium blah 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 detected blah 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 exception in main thread. Just ignore this. So okay, so there's an exception here anyway. So well, that doesn't matter. The test will still run. Yeah, it might be. Let's see. Let's check. It might be because of my weight. That's why it's taking so long. All right, so it's timed out. Yeah, so I expected that the application would time out anyway. So let's check it. There's yeah. So this is So if you look at the log, text log, device initializing device, it's downloaded the app, it's installed the app, it's setting up Appium, setting up network connection, and then it's launched the app. But I expected that this will happen. There's an issue with the app that we are using anyway, so I expected that this will happen anyway. So if you look at the logs, okay, so we don't get logs, view raw logs. So you can use the recipe as you download the logs. So do I want to download the? Okay, let's view the raw logs anyway. So this is the raw logs. This is the logs that was generated, access, blah blah blah. So explicit concurrent. Let's go back. So Appium logs. Let's look at the Appium logs. So you can see from the Appium log, we have our capabilities, name, everything that we sent from IntelliJ is here. So one good thing is that we didn't even specify what the app package or app activity is, but Appium, it's Browserstack is so brilliant that it's got this from the application and all that. So UDID. So this is the UDID of the remote device that we are using, the Samsung S10 that is being used in the cloud. The ports, it's portrait, the orientation is portrait, so this is the platform tools. We'll be talking about platform tools in the next class. The Java version is 1.8, trying to find a connected device. So it's first of all did that, 5 devices connected. using device this with whether ADB is present. So ADB is Android debug breach. We'll be talking about that in future classes. Setting device ID to this, device platform version, 5 devices. So it's going through the logs. It helps you it gives you a better understanding of how the thing has run. And so the device API is 28. It's a very recent device. Running Browserstack. So session successfully created with session ID. Responding to clients with driver session. So these are the things that if there are issues, you can look at look at the logs to find out where things have gone wrong. Basically, it was a GET request. So this is the HTTP. This is the URL, remote URL that was connected to by the UI automator. So it's something that you need to do to get a better understanding of what we've done. So, and this is the app. Okay, well, we can't get this app profiling. Yeah. So let me play the video of what happened. So the device, so we can see that that's the device. It's launched the application. Yes. I need to debug and see what the issue is on why it's not progressive on this page. It will stay on this page for a while. But while the video is, these are the things that, so to be honest, in the next class or subsequent, in the next classes, we'll be using this app activity and package activity to do the automation that we need to do. So it says, you see, device languages, Selenium 314, that's the Selenium language. The device name, the app certificate is false, SSL certificate is false, browser stack logs, we want browser stacks. To be honest, these are the capabilities, these are the input capabilities, and these are the device capabilities. So we'll be talking about this in more detail when we do the subsequent testing and all that. So yeah, so it brings us to the end of today's class. If anyone has got any questions, please feel free to ask. So it's now question and answer question and answer session. Has anyone got any question? I would say that you play around with what we've done, try and replicate what we've done tonight, because it helps you to go into the automation that we'll be doing. It gives you more understanding of what we'll be doing. Has anyone got any question or any? Yeah, can we use Browserstack with C#? Yeah, you can use Browserstack with C# and Visual Studio. So, so this is hold on a second. I don't know this. I need to copy the URL. It's not taking me to. It doesn't take me. I don't know why it doesn't take me to my dashboard when I click on it. Okay, get started with apps automate. Yeah, so yeah, okay. So that's where you need to click. I've been looking for how to get to my. So you click on that. So it brings you here, and then you see this is C#. If you want to use C#, this is it. It gives you the C# code. There's hardly no difference between the C# and the Java one, to be honest. There are just some change, and it uses n units. For the Java, we either the test runner is either test ng or JUnit. Well, so you can use Node if you are good. If you like Node, you can use Node as well. Node is good. Yeah. To be honest, Node is easier. You don't have to write much. Yeah. If you want to use Python, you can use Python, and then Ruby as well. Any other question? Can we have the criteria app to test? Okay, I'll speak to the get it. Sorry, the Blue Sky team, and they would provide you with what app you need to use. But if you even if you don't lay hands on the Blue Sky the app the gift sheet app, you can also, there are some free APK files that you can Google. Maybe for eBay, you can use eBay. Or you can use some other things. But I'll try and see if you can lay your hands on that. Yeah. So any other questions? If there are no questions, I think we call it a day tonight. It's been a pleasure talking to you all.